Hello, this is Frank Giavella with Awards Daily. Mascarpone is a traditional Italian cream cheese used in many desserts. It's also the immensely entertaining new queer-themed Italian film directed by Matteo Pilate and Alessandro Guida and starring Giancarlo Comare. It's rare in Italian cinema that gay representation exists beyond the caricature, but these filmmakers have created a queer positive treat with all the expected ingredients, but one that boldly dares to do a deep dive. Today, I'll be chatting with the two directors, Matteo and Alessandro, as well as the film star, Giancarlo. Benvenuti, ragazzi.
Grazie, Frank.
Grazie.
Guys, Mascarpone feels like this major breakthrough in Italian cinema in terms of it being an actual gay-themed romantic comedy, doesn't shy away from the gay experience. How did you dare to do this?
Who's going? I am.
You.
Okay, so yeah, Mascarpone was born from a very acute observation by Giuseppe Paternò Rattusa, who wrote the film along with Alessandro and I. And he realized that there were no classic romantic comedy with queer characters. So usually in Italian cinema, at least, if there's a queer character involved, then the theme of the film is about something that relates exclusively to the LGBTQ plus population and doesn't have a universal theme. So there was something missing. So whenever a filmmaker comes up with an idea of a film, of course, what he tries to achieve is to find a film that it's not been made yet. Otherwise, I would go and watch some of films that were already made and I love.
Yes.
And so, yeah, there was this this void in Italian cinema, and we tried to fill it. And the thing that happened was that we tried in the beginning to find production companies or distributors to pitch, and we pitched the idea for the film. But every one of them was like, this film is not for everyone. This film is too narrow for the general public, and so it's not interesting for us. So we decided to put our hands on our pockets, and we decided to produce it on our own, with our own forces, relying on the things we learned from the past. I used to work for TV networks. Alessandro used to work for video clips and music videos, sorry. Yeah, and commercials, and he shot previously a couple of very good short films. So we've known each other for over 10 years, and we decided that this time we wanted to make it happen despite everyone else. So we had a very little budget, but we had full freedom to do what we wanted to do. And so we involved people who were not after the money. They were not after visibility, because when Giancarlo joined the project, for example, he didn't know whether the film was going to be completed or distributed or anything. So he just trusted us, and he did it because he believed in the script. And everyone who took part in this project did it because of their beliefs, actually. And every one of them, all the wonderful players, all the crew, and everyone else did it, gave 200% of what they would normally give. And this was one of the greatest strengths of the movie, because we had little money but a lot of freedom.
That's pretty amazing how you put all that together. Let's talk a little bit about gay-themed films in Italy. And you know, I mean, because historically, like in the 70s, for instance, you had Pasolini and Visconti and Zeffirelli. Then they were making their homoerotic films, right? But then it all seemed to stop. And then Ozpetek came along,
Yes.
and you know, he made some groundbreaking films, and besides that really, really bad big gay Italian wedding movie, which I won't even talk about, there seemed to be nothing there. Why do you think, is there that much homophobia in the Italian film industry? Would you characterize it?
I think that, for example, in Italy, we have a lot of TV series, very famous, especially for the young adult public audience, like Scam. I don't know if you know this series. Scam is a series that comes from Norway or Sweden. I don't remember. Norway. Yeah. And we have in Italy, it's quite famous for especially the young audience. And in the second season, all the season is about main character is a gay guy. And so, and the series had a lot of success. So I think that it's not a problem. And at the same time now, Ferzan Ozpetek, he made a new TV series from one of his, I think, best movie. I don't know the name, the title in English, but I think that is...
It's Angels, something Angels.
I don't know. It's the story about
Le Fate Ignoranti.
Yes.
The Italian title is Le Fate Ignoranti, and now they made this series with 8 episodes on Disney Plus, and so it's something is changing, but I think that it's just that the most important thing is that the script, and if the story is a good story, I think that you can have a big audience and can move feelings for everyone.
I'm curious, Matteo and Alessandro, did you approach any actors who said no because of the gay theme?
No. I think that we were very lucky, because I think that sometimes it never happens for actors and actresses that they have a project so free. Do you know what I mean? They especially used to have a lot of casting for very important TV show, very important movies, but when you have this kind of chance, I can say chance, because it was like an adventure. So they say, yes, we would like to try. So we haven't, I think, problems about that in Italy.
No, maybe if we approached the same type of actors like 10 years ago or 15 years ago with a film like that, maybe them or their agents would have been a little bit more skeptic about the project, because it was very different. Because once an actor used to play, like 10 years ago, maybe the gay character, then they would be afraid that they would play only gay characters for the rest of their careers. But this doesn't happen anymore. So I think that we didn't do a revolution. This is not a revolutionary film, but this film was made because there was a revolution before, because all those amazing directors you talked about, all the associations, the LGBTQ+ association made their voice heard. And so that was why our film was able to be made and distributed and reach so many people as it did.
It may not be a revolutionary film, but I think it's a subversive film, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But Giancarlo, I want to come to you. It's a wonderful performance. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was it about Antonio that drew you into wanting to play this part?
Perché ho voluto interpretare. La cosa che mi ha affascinato subito è scoprire il fatto che attraverso un personaggio io potevo raccontare la storia di una scoperta di se stesso, e questa cosa spesso, insomma, non capita, quindi già questo era molto interessante da raccontare e da affrontare.
Okay. The first thing that drew me to the character of Antonio was the fact that the character through the film goes through a process of self-discovery, and that doesn't quite often happen with other film roles.
Poi era un ruolo che fino a quel momento non avevo mai avuto l'occasione di interpretare, anche perché la cosa particolare di Antonio è che noi l'abbiamo definito un po' un camaleonte, che riesce a cambiare a seconda delle persone con cui si trova. Quindi il poter cambiare ulteriormente all'interno di un personaggio che già esisteva, anche questa era un'altra particolarità che mi affascinava molto, e poi perché in qualche modo si avvicina molto anche alle corde di mia madre, e questa occasione non me la potevo far sfuggire.
So you understood? You want me to do the translation?
Yes, please, for the audience.
For the audience, okay. So
Camaleonte,
chameleon.
Okay.
Yeah, Giancarlo said that what drew him, again, the most fascinating thing about the character of Antonio, that he had never played until that moment a role that was chameleontic, ever-changing throughout the movie, because Antonio clings to all the characters that he discovers and finds through his journey. And so that was the reason why he was interested in playing such a character that changes. Plus, some characteristics of Antonio reminded him of his own mother. And so that was another reason why he couldn't miss this role. Was my translation any good, Frank?
It very good, actually, yes. The Odyssey. Oh, go ahead, Alessandro.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that when we made the rehearsals with all the actors, and it's quite uncommon here in Italy that we had so many weeks of rehearsals with all the cast together. It was quite good for us. And at the same time, Giancarlo studied from the other main characters, everything, because he would like to take something from everyone and put it on the screen.
Interesting, very, very interesting. Well, Giancarlo, his journey, his odyssey, is a fascinating one, because usually in life, and most of us experience, we go through the opposite of what Antonio experiences. We date, and then we find someone, and he has this reverse happening. I'm wondering, and for all of you, did any of you draw on personal experience for this, or did you know somebody who went through anything similar where they met somebody so early and was in a long-term relationship for?
Well, sometimes they say that life imitates art, and what happened to me is that at the moment, one of my dearest friend, whom I was how you say, testimony, maid of honor at his wedding, he divorced his husband of many years, and now he's living at my apartment in Milan. So yeah,
Oh boy.
Life imitates art sometimes, but I mean, what the story that we tell in the film, it's once again, it's very common. I mean, it's the way we I think
I disagree with that. I disagree.
You
with
disagree?
that.
Go ahead.
I disagree because yes, it's very common that you what happened in the movie happened in the real life, but not in the movies. It doesn't happen like that. In fact, in all the movies, when we see that someone split or someone broke a relationship, then he would like to find a new love, a new real love.
Yeah.
Especially before it wasn't the real love. And for me, in the movie, the most important thing is that you don't want to find a new love. You want to find your own path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your own way. So this is very
spoiler alert.
No, it's spoiler alert, but yes, it's the real originality of the movie, I think, because every story in every movie, in every rom-com, in a romantic comedy, all the directors, all the writers say, yes, you have to find someone who share your life, who share your love. And we say, it's not like that. You have to find...
It doesn't have to be like that, necessarily. I mean, Antonio is going to find love. I'm pretty sure he will someday in the future.
It's not a sin to be a single man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a sin to be a single man. And especially when you are 35, 36, 30. And it's incredible. But the incredible thing is that a lot of girls and boys from the high school, they say it's the same for me. When I'm the only one who is single in my classroom, in my group with all my friends, they have a girlfriend, they have a boyfriend, and I'm alone. And the movie say you are not alone if you are single.
Well, and it's about being on that personal journey yourself and discovering who you are. And I think Antonio never had that chance. And now in the film, he gets to have that chance. It's one of the things I love so much about the screenplay. And this is where I think it's rather subversive is you give the gay male audience, for instance, you give them everything that will lure them in to see the film, but then you give them this film that's rich with ideas and about self-love.
Yes. And the self-love, I think that you have to do what you want to really do and not to follow somebody else's desires. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it's in every country. It's not just in Italy, but especially in Italy, it happens because you have some push from your family, from your friends, from your job. They say you have to be. Yeah, it depends about the job, but I think that if you work in a very, for example, important company, and you are a married man, or you are more, yeah, it's true. Yes, you make a good career. Yes, because if you have son, if you have daughters, you are okay. Do you know what I mean, Frank?
Yeah. But doesn't that all come from La Chiesa, the church?
I don't know. I think that it's our Italian culture, maybe, but yes, maybe
which comes from the church.
Maybe yes, I don't know. But the incredible thing is that the idea of the to move on this tema, come si può dire?
Theme.
It happened when I was at the wedding, and I remember that all the single men, they feel very they are apart from the rest of the group because we are at the wedding of 35 people, 40 people, and all the single men, they are away playing with the children.
This is Alessandro's own experience.
No,
it doesn't necessarily reflect the Italian situation. I mean, it's his point of view, and we're
yes, but
sure
it's true.
that's
well, it's valid though.
It's valid.
Yeah.
It's totally legitimate.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that it's true.
Giancarlo, tell me about preparation for Antonio.
Ok, no, è stata molto divertente perché grazie a loro due ho iniziato a lavorare molto presto su Antonio, sullo script, perché ho incontrato tutti i vari ragazzi ai provini, quindi ho partecipato ai provini innanzitutto e poi abbiamo fatto tantissime prove, sia durante che dopo. E poi a me mi divertiva la cosa di, insomma, chiamare queste persone che per me erano degli sconosciuti e farle diventare in qualche modo persone conoscenti. Cioè, ho chiamato Michela e le ho chiesto di uscire insieme, di farci un aperitivo perché volevo conoscerla, perché volevo veramente diventare amico di Michela. E così ho fatto un po' con tutti. Con Edoardo ci siamo confrontati inizialmente online, perché lui abitando a Parigi e io a Roma ci siamo visti via online inizialmente, e poi quando lui è venuto a Roma abbiamo iniziato a vederci anche insomma, personalmente.
Eduardo, who was so good. I'm sorry, go ahead, translate.
Okay, so Giancarlo says that he was lucky because he started preparation very early with us, and
he enjoyed with us. He enjoyed with us.
And so he was able to do the casting with all the actors that eventually took part in the film, and he even gave us feedback. So we listened to him a lot because we're first-time directors and he was more experienced than us. So of course he played a big role also in the script, but this is what I'm saying. It's not what I was translating for him because it's very humble. And so he wanted to get to know the people he would work with, because if they were going to play friends of his, he wanted to be friends with them or at least acquainted. So he took Michela Giraud, who plays Christina, out for an aperitivo. And then with Eduardo, who lives in France, Paris, France.
Sono andato a casa di Lorenzo.
He went to Lorenzo's home to rehearse privately with them. He wanted to rehearse privately with each of them. And I think that paid off because his performance is amazing. The other, there's an amazing chemistry with all his colleagues. And
Very much with Eduardo and with Gianmarco as well. The chemistry was solid. Yes.
Thank you.
Tell me about the working as dual directors, because that's never easy.
No, never.
How did you split up duties in a certain way? Like did one
no,
director?
We tried to overstep each other all the way, and we wrestled through the shooting.
Like that? Oh, serious?
It's not true. Come on,
no, we were. We were 80%. We agreed on the 80% of the time. We had the same goal, the same goal. I don't find another synonym for it. And but then we argued on the 20% sometimes, and we both are very opinionated and strong, and maybe on the set he was more how can I say, was more confident than me on the set, because it was my first experience. So on the set, he found his ways. He told me, go and talk to the art director and the costume designer, and he stole the actors from me and changed the scenes. Without me knowing, yes, and it was painful sometimes. Sometimes he punched me, and another time I ran off crying.
What is this? Oh, the Oscars?
Succedeva che veniva Matteo, mi dava dei consigli sulla scena. Subito dopo che lui andava via, arrivava Alessandro e veniva e diceva: non fare come ti ho detto lui, fare come ti ho detto.
Oh my God.
Però allora, la maggior parte delle volte si lavorava tutti insieme,
sì.
Però quando succedeva questa cosa qui, la cosa interessante era che poi da uno scontro, io che ne ero in mezzo a queste due, poi cercavo di trarne una terza, cioè univo questi due scontri, allora a un certo punto cercavo di metterli insieme, amalgamare bene insieme, e poi alla fine devo dire che il risultato era anche veniva bene dallo scontro che c'era tra loro due.
Yeah,
di mettere insieme
it wasn't like that all the time.
Matteo, you have to translate all that.
Yeah, he said that sometimes I got to him first and said something about the scene that we're going to shoot. And then the minute I was gone, he would approach him and whisper in his ear, don't do what he said, do it another way. So it was up to him to choose what path to follow. And I think he did the best choice. So it was a heavy toll on the actors. But actually, they all responded very well, and I don't know if there will be a chance to work together again. We have to, learn from the mistakes we made and improve our communication a little better. But I think the result is what counts, and so we're still friends after the film. We love each other very much. We keep arguing all the time. And we're still friends, and we are not ruling out the idea of working together again. So,
well, that's what matters. Giancarlo, let me ask you: if you had a problem, did you go to Daddy or Daddy?
He had a favorite director, and it was Alessandro.
Okay.
No, it's not true. It's not true.
No, it's true. It's true. I know that, but it's difficult with actors. Shut down your ears, please, because they demand a lot of attention, and Alessandro was eager to give him a lot of attention, while I was trying to give everyone the same attention. So the other actors would come to me. And he established a very close bond with Alessandro on the set.
Close bond with everybody. Come on.
Yeah. But he had a favorite.
Yes.
It's true.
But the most important thing is that I know all the crew, and I know all the crew, and I know that we can do that, but not every time. Just on the important scene or on the important takes, because on the 85% of the scenes we are totally agreeing. We didn't have so many problems. Maybe sometimes we have a referee that was the screenwriter Giuseppe Paternò when
Okay.
we are not really sure, we say, okay, one take, like I said, one take you can choose, and sometimes Giuseppe can make the last decision, or how
you could make it in the editing room, right? You could see which one works better, no? Yeah.
Sometimes we shows a lot of times what Matteo did.
Yeah, in the editing room.
And then he was the last emperor. I called him the Queen Elizabeth. The film editor is one of my best friends. He say, Matteo is the Queen Elizabeth. You cannot say anything.
Yeah, because there I had more experience because I edited a shitload of television series, unscripted television series. So I'm pretty confident in the editing room, and there I could have my word was final because it was. I mean, it changed.
But if I can say, for me, there are two very incredible experiences because one, it's my first set with two directors, but I think that we enjoyed ourselves. Yeah. We work with a lot of friends, and we work very free. So I think that if someone would like to change something, he could do if it goes in the right path, I can say, or in the right goal. So there was a very democratic set.
Yeah, ti dico solo che a un certo punto in fase di editing, siccome non erano d'accordo, hanno chiamato me e hanno fatto decidere a me alcune cose.
He said sometimes during the editing they called him.
Su alcune cose, sì.
During the editing, that was a quite different from the other editing of movies because there was the COVID, and so we are in a lockdown. Everyone is at home, and so we work from
Skype.
On Skype. So we edit the movie on Skype with the film editor, and sometimes we, like Giancarlo said, we use the actors' decisions to take some takes.
Because he was already very involved, and he knows the story. He's one.
And they help us.
The authors of this film.
They really help us.
Scene. I mean, we're eternally grateful to this guy.
There are some scenes. Do you remember the tears? The tears.
Per me è stata un'esperienza incredibile, anche perché non succede mai che un attore venga coinvolto così tanto. Anche.
It's rare.
Yeah, it's very rare that some actors are so involved in a movie.
Well, when you find
we didn't have money,
intelligent actor like him, it's waste to just use it to say the words that are on paper, do what we want. I mean, you let him work, and I mean, I can tell you, it was amazing to see him play, to see him on the set, and he creates magic every time he's acting. It's something incredible, and I mean, you can go and see him in a theater. He's doing some musical theater now, so.
Yes, I am going to ask him about that in a couple seconds, because Jamie. I wanted to ask about the influences. Obviously, there's some Hollywood rom-com influences. Who are the filmmakers you admired growing up? To the directors.
No, please, you
first.
Yes,
you first.
No, because I would like to say normal directors. Now come on with yours.
I mean, there's a reference in the movie which is very clear, and it's
Paul Mazursky's An Unmarried Woman.
An Unmarried Woman, of course. But when we were writing the film, at one point we realized that it had many common themes with An Unmarried Woman. So when we were to write the ending, we wanted to homage Mr. Paul Mazursky, who was a very, I think, underestimated.
Not an homage. We copied that scene.
Yeah,
it's a reference. And I try to fill the film with a lot of references from my favorite films. In the beginning, there's a reference that no one gets to Ingmar Bergman's scenes from a marriage, and I drove everyone crazy because I wanted the bed sheets yellow like in Scenes from a Marriage. I wanted the same outfit for the actors, and if you go and watch Scenes from a Marriage, you'll see that Liv Ullmann is wearing a t-shirt with stripes and a yellow jacket when Erland Josephson breaks up with her, and so there are some references here and there. Another shot was very similar to Desperately Seeking Susan, where there's Madonna on the bed, she's upside down and she sees I don't know, the husband of.
It was mad. It was a movie without money, with no money, no low budget. It's a no budget movie, and he said, no, but Bergman did it. And I say, well, you're not Bergman. We are not Bergman. So maybe you will not have the yellow.
But we found it eventually, and I was content with that, and no one got it. But nonetheless, I'm happy.
Well, I got the unmarried woman.
Yeah, no, it was tough. But, I'll send you the screen, the stills comparison, and you'll see how clever we are.
Okay.
We are mad, and we spend a lot of time and money for that. Nobody. I just know people that watch this kind of movies of 50 years ago now, 40 years ago, and they say, do you no, nothing. Maybe no, maybe this, no, nothing can see this comparison stills.
Hey, I think the best films that were made in the 1970s. So all your homages.
I absolutely agree with you here.
Yes.
And as we see, the name of Woody Allen in the book Apropos of Nothing is another great inspiration for us. And he watched Blue Jasmine to prepare for the role of Antonio, which has some similarities with also with Streetcar Named Desire, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And so yeah, he's a little bit of a Blanche Dubois. Antonio could be a Blanche Dubois, and he's our own Vivian Lee.
I can see that as well. Well, Giancarlo, let's talk about Tutti parlano di Jamie.
Sì.
My God, I saw the original London show before it became a film. So this is wonderful. You definitely don't shy away from queer roles, which is nice. What has this experience been like, you playing a 16-year-old on stage?
È stata un'esperienza molto faticosa perché era il mio primo musical. Non avevo mai cantato davanti a delle persone, quindi 2 mesi prima ho iniziato a prendere lezioni di canto. Avevo qualche esperienza nel ballo, quindi lì ero più tranquillo. È stato molto divertente tornare sedicenne, appunto, nonostante io avevo appena compiuto 30 anni in realtà. Però diciamo che il teatro è così magico che si può tutto.
Of course.
È stato molto interessante perché poi ho trovato anche tante cose in comune con questo personaggio, perché io a 16 anni volevo assolutamente andare via dal luogo in cui mi trovavo, il piccolo paesino in cui ero, per sognare una carriera, no, in questo mondo, nel mondo dello spettacolo, il difficile rapporto con il padre, quindi ci sono state tante cose che mi hanno messo in crisi sicuramente, ma poi è stato molto divertente portare tutto questo, creare e farlo diventare arte e portarlo su un palco.
I was drawn to musical theater because it was challenging for me, since I had never sung in front of the audience before that. So I started taking singing lessons 2 months in advance from the rehearsals. Oh yes,
with heels.
And the heels, and he learned to walk on high heels, of course. And so it was a fulfilling experience to be able to go back and being a 16-year-old again, because the character of Jamie once again resonated with his own biography, because he is a small town boy who wants to get away from the town and do what he wants to do and live his freedom. So that's the reason he enjoyed this experience so much.
I want to make it clear to everybody that we're talking about everybody's talking about Jamie, which in Italian is Tutti parlano di Jamie. Giancarlo, it's interesting because Jamie and Antonio have one similarity. They're both out and proud about who they are. And we don't see those kinds of characters that often. I think we're seeing more and more of those types of characters, which is fantastic. But it's just very interesting that they do have that similarity where they're unabashedly unashamed, which is nice.
Yeah. Sì, ma io spero che più in là andiamo, più ci saranno insomma, personaggi di questo tipo che portino in scena proprio questa cosa qui, perché se ho deciso di farli questi due personaggi è proprio perché avevano questa caratteristica assolutamente.
I hope that there will be more and more characters like that, so out and about in the world. And the reason why I chose them is because their pride, their this characteristic.
Thank you.
Good for you. Giancarlo, you got your start as a dancer and then you in theater. Can you tell me about how you broke into acting and what you considered your first big break?
Il tuo primo ruolo importante hai iniziato con... You did your homework, Frank. That's...
Thank you.
Thank you. Il mio primo ruolo importante che mi ha fatto conoscere al grande pubblico è stato sicuramente Edoardo di Scam. Però diciamo come primo ruolo che io reputo importante è proprio quello che mi ha fatto capire perché io volessi fare questo nella vita, che è il re Erode, quando avevo 10 anni. Dovevo fare una recita natalizia, mi è stato affidato questo ruolo che non volevo assolutamente fare, poi mi ci sono ritrovato lì la sera, è successa una magia, allora lì ho deciso di voler fare questo nella vita.
The role that brought me to fame was the role of Edoardo in Scam Italy, which gave him fame and made him known to a vast public. Edoardo is the bad guy, the big bad guy in the series that then he discovers he has a tender heart.
He's not a good guy. No, he's not an asshole.
In the beginning, yes. But what he considers his breakthrough role is the role of King Herod in a play at elementary school.
Jesus Christ,
and that's a role that he didn't want to play. But then when he found himself on stage playing that role, that was the moment that he thought, I want to be an actor. This is what I'm going to do in my life.
When he was 10.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
When I was 10, I played Maleficent at elementary school. Yeah.
That's very gay.
Yeah, my star power at the time was so big that I had the privilege to choose my parts. So when the teacher said we're going to do Sleeping Beauty, I would go, there are no big male roles in Sleeping Beauty. I want to play Maleficent. And
Good for you.
Said, okay.
And when I was 10, I was the tree. The background in the high school play. Yes, Alessandro, you will be the tree. Go
wow,
ahead.
You know, if I was a therapist, I would be able to Maleficent, Tree, and King Herod. I'd have so much to say, but
isn't this a therapy session?
It sounds it's playing like it. Yes.
Yeah.
Giancarlo, do you have any interest in doing theater and film outside of Italia?
Sì, yes, of course. Both. Sì, farei entrambe le cose.
He would love to do both, but he needs to improve his English, definitely.
Yeah. Spanish. In Spanish.
And I'm pretty sure he would do well in Hollywood because he's a true gem, and I think we just only saw the beginning of Giancarlo, and he's going to shine.
He's old. He's 31.
Oh boy.
Therapy is going out of control here.
Non vedo l'ora. You gotta go now in LA or New York City.
I just have a couple more questions for you guys. How has the film
done with us forever?
Then that's it. I'm sending you off. How has the film been received in Italia and worldwide through the festival circuit? Because I know you guys have been playing festivals as well.
Well, it was amazing for us and breathtaking because it was very well received in Italy because almost all the reviews that came out were positive. Like 4 reviews out of 5 were positive, absolutely positive, and everyone got what our message was about. They understood the film and they appreciated for the very reasons we wanted to make it. And that's, I think it's the most rewarding thing for a storyteller, especially for first-time storytellers, because you don't know if you'll be able to convey your message, if the thing you're going to tell is going to be interesting for the people who are watching. And so, yes, it was a big success. Lots of people watched it. Here it was released on Prime Video, and lots of people watched it. And then it came the international distribution, which was something we only dreamed about. I mean, for us, it's a dream come true to be talking to an American journalist about our film, because our film is going to be released in the US. It's something, it's mental. I mean, it's all beyond all of our best expectations, because as you did, many other people in other countries understood the film and appreciated it. And so it has something that doesn't only resonate for gay 30-year-olds who live in Rome, but all over the world, and that's fantastic. And I might add, a very surprising thing happened that I don't know if you know about Poland, who's a European country very close to Russia. They have a very right-wing government, and in the past months, there were headlines here in Italy that said that the Polish parliament was about to discuss an anti-gay LGBT propaganda law, very close to what's going on in Russia for years. But then again, we found this distributor in Poland, and the film was distributed in Poland, and it went in theater. It was a huge success in Poland.
Yeah.
And there were posters and videos all over the metro stations, and it played for like 4 weeks there. And so we were very proud that so many people in a country where there's a parliament that doesn't represent the people of Poland, after all.
And you're very popular now in Poland, in Warsaw.
And it warmed my heart, because it's something that it's something extra. It goes beyond the filmmaking and what the film is about. It's I don't know.
I would appreciate it if we travel with the movie. And we stay always in the fucking living room of Matteo, and we never travel with this movie.
It's not a problem.
I would like to go in the United States. I would like to go in Poland. I would like to, but we just stay all the time here. Show him what we have here in the living room.
Well, hopefully that will happen.
Just
I don't know if somebody's a Madonna fan. Oh dear God, that film. Don't get me started on that film, that Alan Parker film. My husband loves it.
Okay.
Oh,
I have a problem with it.
Oh, you're like my mother.
Me too.
I obliged my mother to watch it like 20 times, because we saw it together the first time. So every time I want to watch it, I want to watch it with her. And she dislikes it now. And she hates it as much as she hates Yentl.
Oh, I love Yentl. No,
Yentl is an absolute masterpiece.
Evita's a powerful film, except for Madonna. That's all I'll say.
I totally agree with you.
This is where our conversation ends.
Okay, the Italian title. Let's talk about the Italian title and the fun double meaning behind it. Tell me, speak to it.
Okay, I'll go. We were in the beginning. The project was called Mascarpone. When we approached Giancarlo, the title was Mascarpone. Then we decided it was actually Alessandro's idea, because sometimes my idea were a little bit strange. even for a film extravagance. And Alessandro very intelligently pointed out that this film has to be watched by people. We need to go with a title that tells what the film is about. So it's better to go with a straight title, Maschile Singolare, which means singular masculine in Italian, in Italian grammar. And so it means that is singolare is single, but also special. So there's something special about Antonio, of course, and the fact that he, before he's a couple, and he has to learn to become a single identity before being a couple, hopefully again. And so that's why we decided to change the title, thanks to Alessandro's idea, which I think was one of the many good ideas that he put in this movie.
You're a liar, you're pretending.
One of the 3 good ideas you had, Alessandro, just 3.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a final question each, and that is, what are you working on now? Alessandro, you go first.
On Prime Video on 11, no, I don't remember the date. on May, we will have a new movie that I made with Giuseppe Paterno Raddusa, the same screenwriter, and with some young actors. It's a young adult movie, and the name is Involontaria, and it's about il volontariato, come si dice?
Volunteering.
About volunteering. So it's a rom-com, but it's do you know the sick flick genre, like sick flick?
Sick flick.
Sick flick?
Yeah,
yes,
where
someone love each other, but they are sick. They have problems, like
health problems.
Oh, no, I don't think I've.
It's very common now in the United States, in England, that there are a lot of movies for young adult people that are sick flick. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a new, come si può dire?
Genre.
It's a new genre. Okay.
Yes. And with a very young cast that are really, really good, and I'm very proud about it. And now it's your turn.
Matteo.
Vai.
We're gonna let the actor have the last word.
Okay, yeah, let's say that what I want to do next. Let's say that I was inspired by Giancarlo going into musical theater, so I would like to audition for the role of the Mother Superior in The Sound of Music. I think that's what I want to do next.
And I will fly to Rome to see that.
I will be very good. I will sing.
Climb every mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will be amazing.
Okay. All right.
Come to Rome.
Broadway is waiting for you.
Yes.
Broadway.
Every mountain.
Io gli passo da coach, lo preparo.
He just said he'll be his coach.
He doesn't need a coach. He's perfect like this.
Giancarlo, what are you doing after Jamie?
Adesso l'8 maggio uscirà su Rai 1 una rete di TV italiana, Rinascere, che è un film che parla di Manuel Bortuzzo, una giovane promessa del nuoto che però la sua storia è cambiata in una notte ricevendo la pallottola di una pistola, e quindi per uno sbaglio, un equivoco e uno scambio di persona. E da lì si racconta tutta la sua riabilitazione, quindi questo percorso di rinascita, appunto. E sempre nel 2022, ma ancora non so bene quando, uscirà la seconda stagione di Romulus, e io prenderò parte anche a questo progetto, e poi in autunno ci sarà Scam 5.
So on May the 8th, on Rai Uno, which is the Italian's public TV main channel, so it will be available on Rai International as well for the US viewers. Giancarlo will be once again the main character, because he's not a supporting actor. He's never a supporting actor. He only accepts
main roles.
Main roles. He plays the role of a real guy called Manuel Bortuzzo, who was a swimmer with a very young swimmer who wanted to be a professional swimmer, and he was becoming a
professional champion.
He was a champion who was shot by mistake on his back, and now he's paralyzed from the waist down. And so the story is called Rinascere, Born Again, and it's about his coming back to life and finding a new purpose in life after this major happening. Then again, he will be
see on Romulus 2 and Scam 5, the new series in Italy. Watch it.
Okay.
That's all in this moment.
Yes.
That's fine. Well, that's very exciting, gentlemen. I want to thank you for taking this time out. I also want to congratulate you on...
Tell us the truth. You have an headache now, right?
I'm sorry. I have a headache? No, actually, I don't. I woke up with a migraine, but it's gone, strangely. So you cured my headache. No, I think it's a wonderful film. I've learned how collaborative it actually was, which is very, very interesting. And I hope audiences here do find it. I think they will, because I think it's missing here too. I think, especially with COVID, I think it has a lot to say. So again, congratulations, and thank you for spending this time with us.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much.